Boom shakalaka, what's going on, guys? Randall here from Crypto Love, and today I have for you an episode about the top 5 unknown cryptocurrencies. Now, before we get into everything, thank you to everyone who's been subscribing. Guys, we have 69,000 subscribers. Tonight, we have a 69,000 subscriber live stream special. You better be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, thank you to everyone who's been mashing on that like button. And finally, guys, if you want to find out how to win a free Ledger Nano S, stay tuned. Now let's get started. All right, guys, it's top 5 unknown cryptocurrencies. Now, they may not be unknown to everybody. People who spend all their time researching, who find out about a lot of projects other than just listening to hype, they probably know about these. But these top 5 cryptos, these deal with some of the biggest problems facing the blockchain today. All right, so taking a look at them, and just why are these important? Well, we have problems drive innovation, drive development, and that's how things get done. Like, for instance, there was the internet. People had a difficult time searching for it, hence Google. Okay, big company comes out of a problem. Okay, another one, it's very difficult to stalk people, and you want to be able to do it from the comfort of your own home. Also troll them whenever you want, so hence comes Facebook. You can stalk people, do whatever you want. Cool. Then there's it's really difficult. You have to get porn magazines. You have to go to a store to get it. You could be seen, and even the stuff online takes forever to download, hence Pornhub. I mean, 3 giant things came out of problems, and look at that. So solve the problems, and then big industry. Now, guys, what problems exist on the blockchain? First one, interoperability and scalability. These are kind of 2 of the same things, because if blockchains are interoperable, then that'll solve a scalability issue right now. Like what we're seeing with Ethereum, where it gets bogged down, slow transactions happening on there, but also interoperability. We have all these different blockchains. The Bitcoin blockchain, the Ethereum blockchain, the Cardano blockchain, all these different blockchains, and we want to be able to connect them, because if we can connect them, it's kind of like back in the day. If you guys remember playing the original Halo, you could only play against people on your own console. What was that on? Xbox? The original Xbox? I don't even remember. But yeah, you could only play on people on your console. Maybe you could do like a local area network. Well, once they figured out the internet, Ethernet, all that stuff, you could play with people all over the world, and it made the game a lot more fun. Same thing can happen with blockchains. So we get all these blockchains interoperating, and that's going to solve some big issues, okay? And there are some projects that are working on it this year that we'll talk about. The next thing is centralized exchanges, all right? Exchanges that are centralized can get shut down, like we kind of saw with South Korea recently, where they banned exchanges and things like that. Also, there can be issues with centralized exchanges, like what happened with Mt. Gox back in the day. If they're run poorly, everybody can lose all of their money. So, a big problem that we need to overcome is the centralized exchanges. How do we do that? With decentralized exchanges. And guys, the third problem that most people do not know exists is the lack of blockchain developers. It turns out that for every blockchain developer, there's 14 blockchain developer jobs that need to be filled. It is a huge problem, and considering how fast the blockchain is scaling, this stuff needs to get filled. So we're going to talk about all this stuff later. Now let's get started. We're just going to go through them in order of descending market cap. So you may know the beginning ones, but maybe when we get towards the end, you may not know them. So stay tuned. First one is Icon. Now, Icon right now, trading at $7.48. We can see it's up towards the all-time highs, all right? And rightly so. It's ranked 16th in total market cap. You can get it on Binance, Huobi, OK Exchange, all of that stuff. But what is Icon? Well, Icon is aiming to hyper-connect the world. Icon is one piece of the Blockchain Interoperability Alliance, all right? And what they're doing is aiming to hyper-connect the world, but specifically a whole bunch of big, reputable institutions in South Korea. They have backing by the government, all right, to work with hospitals, insurance, universities, securities, banks, and even e-commerce. They even have their own private blockchain there for doing that type of stuff. So all of that working together, being backed by a government, that's pretty large, all right? Now, use cases, they have a whole bunch of different things here, but basically in terms of the overall idea, this is a blockchain that's aiming to be interoperable with all these different industries going on there. And it just compares the different blockchains that they have, Icon, Ethereum, EOS, all of that stuff. Also with the roadmap, okay, so the token sale's done. Coming up, they have the Nexus mainnet launch, all right, the expansion of the decentralized exchange, and then they have stuff where they're aiming to add more universities, grow bigger, things like that. So that puts Icon on the list, on the not particularly top of the list. This is in no particular order other than just where they show up in terms of market capitalization. Now, would I buy this one? Yeah, the price is probably going to go up, but it is at all-time highs compared with some of the other ones we look at that aren't at all-time highs, maybe better buys. Okay, so we have Icon there. The next one is Loopring. Now, Loopring just recently saw a big shoot up, coming down a little bit. So this is what I like to see. I like to see stuff when we have a bit of a pullback. That way we can buy in at not all-time highs. We can get a good deal on it. Now, Loopring is available on Binance, OK Exchange, Gate.io, but Loopring actually is its own decentralized exchange. And here's the coolest thing about it. I did a video on Loopring not too long ago. The coolest thing about Loopring is you get to hold your crypto assets the entire time. All right. When you put your cryptos on an exchange like Binance, like Bittrex, whatever it may be, you're actually just trading your valuable crypto assets for an IOU, like a piece of paper that says I owe you this and this and this. Is that valuable if the exchange crashes? No. Is that valuable if, you somehow do something if it gets hacked? No. So basically, you're trusting in that centralized party, that centralized exchange. And we've seen previously with Mt. Gox, with other stuff, that is hard to trust centralized authorities, be it exchange or whatever. Well, Loopring takes care of this because what they do is they allow you to hold your assets in your MyEther wallet or wherever you hold them, and then you can trade those. Right now, a few days ago, they had the decentralized exchange launch. So right now, you can go ahead and trade ERC20 tokens straight out of your wallet. You don't have to put them on an exchange. You hold them the whole entire time. Now, how they do that? Basically, they find these loop rings, these ring pairs of different exchanges, and they match them up. So then once that happens, you basically say, I have this, I want to trade it for that at this price. And they search using game theory to find all these different things. Once they find the pair, boom, transaction takes place and it's done. It's really that simple. And guys, they have a heavy hitter team, all right? So they have guys that have worked for Google, for PayPal, all types of stuff like that. Now, what I just mentioned recently, they're thrilled to announce that Loopring is on. The decentralized exchange protocol is available to all ERC20 wallets. Cool. Awesome. We like working protocols. We'd like to be able to do this. I have a feeling, I've taken a look at Loopring and other decentralized exchanges. So far, Loopring is my favorite. Again, don't take my word for it. Do your own research. There are other decentralized exchanges like Kyber Network, like 0x, like BitShares. So, do your own research, but I tend to like this one. All right. Now, the next one is ARK. Okay, I've spoken about ARK before. In one of my more popular videos, I recommended ARK. And yes, I still think that ARK is phenomenal. All right, I saw a presentation they did at the North American Bitcoin Conference. Very, very comforting in terms of what they have going on. But ARK right now trading at $5.36. It's available on Upbit, Bittrex, Binance, Cryptopia, OK Exchange. So you can see the Korean markets are buying it up, and they usually lead us in terms of what's going on. And the price is in a pullback, so it's definitely not as all-time highs in terms of Bitcoin comparative. So that's nice. Now, what is ARK? Well, they are all-in-one blockchain solutions. The big things that I've been talking about previously is this bridging. So basically, the blockchain interoperability. I mentioned that in the beginning that we're going to be talking about this. So bridging, getting blockchains to work together. And in fact, ARK has done this so far with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. They have made them all interoperable. So already making great strides. Now, one of the reasons why I think ARK doesn't get more notoriety is just because they don't market. They're just working on development. They have a very strong team. This is a bunch of people who used to work on Crypti, which is the crypto that forked to Lisk and ARK. So they have a very strong team who's been doing this for a long time. But guys, that is not all. All right, there is something else that blew my mind when they mentioned it. So I figured I'd share it with you guys. This is point-click blockchain. All right. So if you guys think nowadays, if you've ever made a website, okay, back in the day you had to code the whole thing yourself with HTML, then you could use whatever else. But nowadays you just go to Weebly or Wix or anything else, and you just basically with the Web 3.0, you just point, click, copy, drag, put whatever you want. It is simple. And Arc is aiming to do this with blockchains. All right, you don't have to hire these blockchain developers to go build a blockchain. You can just use Arc and their point and click system and just drag for exactly what you want, and you have your own blockchain set up just like that without having to go through the difficulty of finding a blockchain developer. Guys, they're very difficult to find. So that's what's going on with Arc. Plus also they have all these hackathons going on. So they're sponsoring hackathons at like Cambridge and all these other universities to get people interested in their project, also to get the idea of having blockchain developers out there. So yeah, they're doing all of that stuff. So very, very awesome progress with them. And like I said, they're just not marketing as well as other people. Like the progress that they've been doing far exceeds the marketing that's been done, and there's not a lot of hype. And so this one's on a hush hush. So this is definitely like an unknown one. You may have heard of Arc, but you probably don't know all the stuff they've been doing, all the developments they've been making. The next one is Aeon. This is another part of the Blockchain Interoperability Alliance. And we can see here the price on Aeon definitely down from all-time highs, so that is a good time to buy. But where can you get it? You can get it on Binance, Ether, Delta, KuCoin, all of those. And what is Aeon? Aeon is a third generation blockchain network basically aiming to work between all these separate blockchains. So to bridge between Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Lisk, all these different ones, because right now we have all these different blockchains, but there's nothing really to bring it together. So Aeon has their Aeon 1.0 or Aeon 1 mainnet that's going to be able to work between all these different blockchains. And this video here does a very good job of explaining it, but basically what they do is they're a federated blockchain network, making it possible to seamlessly integrate dissimilar blockchains. So basically, you can just interact between them. And how do you do that? Using the Aeon token, all right? So you can make these federated blockchains where you can bridge between different blockchains. You can scale it in this spoken hub type model, kind of like how the internet works now. And so guys, go through their website. They're in Aeon phase 1 right now, so they have a whole bunch of stuff with integrating with the Ethereum network just to make it easy for all that stuff to happen. But they have a whole bunch more stuff coming, so this is another big one. And like I said, I've said it twice before, I'll say it again, the Blockchain Interoperability Alliance. Blockchain interoperability is going to solve the problem of all these separate blockchains. It's also going to solve the problem of scalability, because when one blockchain gets clogged up, everything can just go around to another one, go through there, and then come back if it needs to. So this is a huge thing, and having this partnership of Icon, Aeon, and the one more that's coming up, that's going to help solve this issue. Now, what's this other one coming up, you say? WineChain, all right? I was calling it WineChain for the longest time. It's not, it's WineChain. That means 10,000 in some language, because they're aiming at bringing together 10,000 chains. Crazy, right? Interoperability, but specifically rebuilding finance. The financial industries are stuck in the Stone Age, I guess, and even with Ripple, which is like the devil, it's still just using the old architecture and all that stuff. And when we do that, it can't really scale. But they did a very nice presentation where they're talking about the digitization of assets and how when you do that, things can scale based on just Moore's law. So like infinitely scale. And that can happen with finance, with money, because if we take a look at stuff like digital photographs back in the day, when they were old, like snapshots, you couldn't do that. But once they became digital, the amount of information on them is crazy. And how they're going to do that, they have their blockchain down here. Basically, the WineChain is a cross-chain platform. So you can have Bitcoin, Ethereum, all this stuff up here. You can have the private chains like the banks, the sectors, all there. WineChain works between them to help do that. And it's not merely a universal cross-chain protocol, a distributed ledger that records cross-chain and inter-chain transactions. What that means and how they do it is by using ring signatures. So the same cryptography stuff used with Monero, they're using here to make it private. But what they can do is basically you can run anything, basically any Ethereum decentralized application, anything else can be run on the WineChain network. And how they do that is they create a proxy asset on WineChain's blockchain. So basically, they just create a proxy on their own blockchain for whatever's happening on these other blockchains, and that allows whatever needs to happen on their blockchain, and then it can go back to the other one. So that is a very cool concept. They don't need to have a whole bunch of stuff doing whatever, but they just launched at the North American Bitcoin Conference. They just launched their mainnet release, so WineChain 1.0 is ready to go. They probably have that in the roadmap here. WineChain 1.0 goes live. It was a big event, something like that. So that is another one to look out for. Now, they're done their ICO. Their token's not available on any exchanges that I know of at the moment, but keep an eye out for this one because this is a big one to look at, part of the Blockchain Interoperability Alliance. And guys, that brings us to the last one. The last one is dealing with the issue of a lack of blockchain developers. All right, everybody's coming out with these ICOs nowadays. Everybody has a great idea for the blockchain. The problem is you need a blockchain developer to actually build that idea. And all these new ICOs are coming out. The big problem is they can't find blockchain developers. All right, like I mentioned, and like they have a nice image of right here, for every blockchain developer, there's 14 open jobs. It's a big issue. So Academy is actually a school of blockchain. They take regular developers and they turn them into blockchain developers in 6 months. This is the first accredited university to do it in the world, all right? But they do that to help bring these developers to become blockchain developers, which is awesome because this is what we need to help fill those spots. And guys, they're already like filled up for their first thing, but they're making it to where it can be an online course so they can help spread this a lot faster to different universities and help get it out there a lot sooner. Now, that's the idea, and it's a brilliant idea because it's definitely a problem and they are aiming to solve that. And just look at this, like right now we're in 2018. Think about in the next few years with things expanding like they are, and I think it could potentially be an exponential type of thing in terms of the demand that's going to be out there. But they say it's going to grow 16 times. That means instead of one for 14 jobs, it's going to be one for 14 times 16, which I can't do in my head. But guys, here's another thing for you guys to know. So I know we're talking a bit more about ICOs. Well, this is an ICO. Their public crowd sale starts in February, so this is one to look out for. If you're looking for ICOs, I would definitely say go take a look at it. Obviously, do your own research, but Academy token, take a look at this because not only is this token used in the ecosystem, so for instance, in order to go to Academy to learn to become a blockchain developer, they actually preferentially accept people who use the Academy tokens to pay for it. So if they have 50 spots, and there's 50 people paying with Academy tokens, all the people who pay with fiat won't be able to get in, only people with Academy tokens. And then when they receive tokens, they're going to be burning a lot of the tokens that they receive to help, because they kind of look at it as like an already paid for Starbucks card type thing. So that is going to help increase the value of these tokens. And I think being the first mover in this whole space, that's something that could be good to get in on. Now, guys, that is it in terms of the 5 unknown cryptocurrencies. I hope you enjoyed them. Maybe you knew some of them. I'm curious. Let me know how many you knew already. If you knew all 5, you're just a winner. That's it, okay? If you didn't know them, now you know them. Guys, take a look into these because these are addressing the biggest problems in 2018. And like I mentioned with Google, Facebook, and Pornhub, you address problems, you make money. Now, for those of you who just watched, to find out how to win the free Ledger Nano S, head over to crypto-love.com/training. Up top here, you could enter to win a free Ledger Nano S cold storage device. You could also find out about a whole bunch of training we have, including a free Bitcoin starter kit, how to get started with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, guys, for the rest of you, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. Guys, if you have not subscribed yet, click that subscribe button where every day you will get a brand new video on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Also, weekly late night live streams on Tuesday and other fun stuff we do whenever. So, thank you guys for hanging around. I will catch you guys tonight at the 69,000 subscriber late night live stream. Bound to be epic. All right. Peace.